this review is for Postmarked Castle Cove by Judy M. Kerr. If you want to check out my review, I have just posted that. So if you're on YouTube, there's a link in the description below. And if you're on my blog, then the details are in the post. And this is the video review. So Postmarked Castle Cove by Judy M. Kerr. This was deeply emotional. And it's a story that follows Postal Inspector McCall. She's mentoring a newbie and she's dealing with her own issues after rehab, and she's called to Castle Cove about a crime that seems kind of basic at the post office until the investigations start to reveal something darker at play. And so she ends up working with the local law enforcement, and McCall gets to work trying to sort of uncover the truth about what's really going on and what stemmed to the crime that she's there to commit happening. But it's much more disturbing than I think any of them could have imagined. Yeah, this story started by making sure to introduce McCall properly and her situation. So we all sort of understood what she was battling with and the call to have a drink, especially with some of the things that she'd been through in life and did as part of her job. You'd think postal inspector wouldn't be stressful, but they have a very stressful job. McCall has a very stressful job, so I empathised immediately with the struggles she was having. But I was glad she really did seem to have a good support system around her in who she knew before she left and went to Castle Cove for this investigation, and also when she got to Castle Cove, there was some acquaintances she were making that were, good and strong for her. But as soon as she got called away, it wasn't long before she was struggling again. And I admired how well she refrained from giving in to drink, because what she actually ended up investigating probably would drive a lot of people to drink to try and numb it. So it was early on, she was very, very suspicious of this case and almost had like an instinct to know that something else was the reason for it, and there was real evil and crimes to be solved that wouldn't normally be in her jurisdiction, but because they were linked to her case, she could get involved. And Judy made it very, very clear in the story the responsibilities that the postal inspectors have, but McCall did her duties with upheld standards and always went above and beyond to get justice. So she knew when she could cross that line to help out on the case, because it had that grey area, that blurred that she could be involved based on the fact it was connected to her original case. So there were very dark themes underlying this story. Some readers might find them triggering. Most readers will probably find them very upsetting. But Judy took care to only use detail when needed and sparingly. It was all necessary to share these details because these are very severe crimes, and you really got the severity of what they were dealing with as a result of what Judy shared in the story, which we sadly know these types of things, they happen far too often and they shouldn't happen, but they do. And I think it was all handled very sensitively in the story. McCall herself and others who were helping with the case, they'd been victims or exposed to such behaviours, traumatizing experiences themselves. So they knew the importance of shutting it all down and reducing the potential for more people to suffer. And you could tell that passion was coming through in everything they were trying to do. So there were just so many times I was saddened, but I was sure McCall was going to get the truth and expose the criminals. And she was dedicated, and she wasn't going to stop until she had. And she had that great support around her, and she had some lovely people that she met whilst in Castle Cove who also gave her, a bit more to herself personally, which was lovely, and gave her something to grow on and build on. So I really admired McCall's dedication. She was so much stronger than she thought, and she went through a very personal journey of growth in the story. It was really good to join her on that. And I really, despite the dark nature of the story, which was horrific at times, I enjoyed what the story was conveying and the morals and the character and everything. It was a great story. So I'll pop a link in the description so you can grab a copy of Postmarked Castle Cove, which I hope you will. If you've read Postmarked Castle Cove, would love to know what you thought of it. And if you haven't read it yet, but you're planning to read, it's on your read list, or you're now super intrigued and thinking, yeah, I really want to read that, then again, please do let us know, because it's always great to find out what you're reading. And if you do read it, I hope you get that same sense of growth and that journey along with McCall, and enjoy getting to know her. Bye.